You briefly mentioned the climate emergency, and that's obviously something that lots of students are worried about. So I was wondering how you'd tackle that.
Thank you so much for raising it, because this is another one of those issues, and it's about the most important issue when it comes to, this is about future generations, it's about my children, it's about all of our future generations in this country. This is one of those issues that we haven't been afforded the time and the space to tackle as a country because of Brexit. And I regret that enormously. And actually, by way of us not being in the European Union, we'll be even less able to contend with it. But in terms of what we put forward as a party and the difference that I would make personally, it's something that I'm very, very passionate about. And in fact, in Finchley and Golders Green, it's one of the 60 Unite to Remain constituencies, which is where the Liberal Democrats and the Green Party and Plaid in Wales have worked together not to stand candidates against each other. I only regret the fact that the Labour Party, refused to take part in even the discussions around that. But where we find ourselves is that the Green Party have balloted their members locally and decided not to run a candidate. And that's in part due to the work that I personally have done on this issue. So I was the former Shadow Minister for Energy and Climate Change, and I brought forward an amendment to the Energy Bill back in 2011, which saw the introduction of a green apprenticeship scheme in this country. So I think it's absolutely vital, and I'm really, really proud to be part of a party that does prioritise this. We've said that we've put forward a 100-day plan. We've said that this should be the responsibility of the Treasury. We want to reinstate the Department for Energy and Climate Change, which the Tories took away. We think this should be the responsibility of everyone. Now, locally, we sit in an area that has its council, Barnet Council. Barnet Council is one of the few councils in London that has not declared a climate emergency. There are people sat in the council that do not believe that there is climate change. This is the council, I mean, I live here locally, and perhaps people in this room, you will see that brown bin that should be collecting our food waste, and it isn't. We have some of the worst recycling rates. They're about to start charging to collect green waste. And there's so much that can and should be done in this very borough to make a difference. And certainly if I'm returned as the MP, this is one of the areas that I'll be doing a lot of work on, because I won't be of the same political persuasion as the leadership of the council, and I will be holding them to account. And that might be via a carrot, it might be via a stick. But certainly, whether it's on the issue of recycling, there's many people locally that want to have an electric vehicle. But if you don't have a drive, then you can't have an electric vehicle charging point. And there's some communal ones, but they break all the time, and there certainly isn't enough of them. We should be having those. It's one of the few areas locally that didn't apply to the Mayor's Clean Air Fund. And I certainly see the effects of the air pollution that is around us all. And on a national level, as a party, we've said every local authority in the country should have the responsibility and the resources to be delivering on our national targets when it comes to our emissions. That isn't what happens at the moment. At the moment, we've got the Climate Change Committee. They set our targets nationally. Every local area reports on its emissions, but we don't hold them to account to actually make a difference. We've said that every area should make a difference. And even without that law, there's certainly much that I can do to hold them account to do so.